Hey everyone, it's Ruben again. Today I want to address what to do when you think you need someone. What to do when you think you need to hire someone and add them to your team, and the beauty behind that, and really the prep that goes into that. So, first, what I want to talk about is what I'm seeing right now. And this could be you, and this isn't an attack on you. This isn't a like saying that you're doing it wrong and that you should be doing it better. This is just, of course, like everything's a suggestion, but this is like I've been at dozens of companies and I've recruited for hundreds of people. And this is just something that I've seen. A lot of hiring managers, they will decide they need someone on their team. They'll start by creating a job post. Maybe they'll post it on AngelList or they'll go on Y Combinator and post it. Or maybe they'll reach out to recruiters and agencies and then they'll start interviewing people and then they'll give an offer and then that's that. Right. And that it's like as simple as you want to make it or complex as you make it or whatever. But I want to start challenging the job description world because if I've recruited at a small startup, so I've recruited at multiple small startups, that doesn't mean I'm going to be a good fit for another small startup, right? So just because Ruben's recruited for like 10 health tech startups doesn't mean that he's great for the 11th, right? There could be a lack of recruitment infrastructure. There could be a lack of ability to change. There could be a lack of just a lot of things that I just can't deal with in my environment, and that will make me unsuccessful. And so let's start with the problem, right? So, what is the problem that we're hiring someone to solve for? So, then I want to talk about the problem, and then I want to talk about the outcomes that would solve that problem, right? So like what are the things that we can do that say this person gets hired, what are the things that this person can do that will satisfy that problem, right? So say it's like building out like an API, say it's building out like a website, say it's hiring more people, say it's doing accounting, finance, whatever it is, right? what what are actual measurable outcomes that will solve this problem? That's the first thing. And then the second thing is what does this problem look like in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months? Like, what does this problem look like as you go down the line? And these are all things that we need to do and we need to brainstorm. And then on top of that, we need to create like a 30, 60, 90-day plan. So say you hire Ruben, what will I be doing for the first 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? Am I supposed to like walk in from day one and just start working? Am I supposed to just be like up to speed? How long is it going to take? Like, no, I need to meet the people. I need to understand the company, the culture, the values before I start recruiting. I need to understand what are the types of people that are successful at company XYZ. And these are things that we need to put some thought into. And then on top of that, like what makes the role attractive for me to join your company? Like, of course, we have like hundreds and hundreds of companies, and of course, the world's changing all the time. But there's a lot of options, right? And we're of course only hiring like the top 1% of people in the world, and that's what we want and that's what we strive to. What about this role makes it attractive for me? And so these are all things that need to be addressed before we even start reaching out to candidates. Because once we start reaching out to candidates, everything gets nuts. It's like it's so fun. You go crazy. Like you start getting a candidate, you start introducing them to your people start assessing them. But then we need to back up a second and we need to put more thought into actually like front loading the process so we don't end up giving a bad experience, because candidates talk, right? Everyone talks. People love to gossip, and they'll talk about your company, they'll talk about your interviews, they'll talk about everything that has to do with you, and that's going to translate to other candidates that are possibly looking. So in addition to thinking about the problem, thinking about the outcomes that we're trying to achieve to solve this problem for 6 months, 12 months, 18, 24, however long you want this person around, right? um, and they're actually measurable so we can articulate them. We also want to create like a 30, 60, 90-day plan, could be a 120-day plan. Then we also need to talk about like what makes this role attractive, the types of persons that would be interested in this role. We need to brief the team on the hire. That's super important. Are our interviewers trained, right? Do they know what we're looking for? Are they measuring, like what are they measuring this candidate based off of? Are they measuring them based off of other candidates? Are they measuring them based off of themselves? Are they measuring them based off of a rubric which per se has those outcomes that we spoke about? All these things need to kind of go into um, a successful hire. Like that's what we're looking for, the best hires of the world. And so let's start talking about the team itself and who we're adding this person into. Are they comfortable interviewing? That's the first question. Like, have they interviewed before? They now know what we're assessing for because we had done that work. But have they interviewed before? Is this their first interview? Do they feel like interviewing is a pain on their workload? Do they already have a tough time in their at capacity already? Are they at 100% capacity? Are they 80% capacity? Are we going to drop down their workload to allow them to interview and not get interview fatigue? Have we expressed how many roles that we're interviewing for and how many open headcount we have? That's huge, because if I'm interviewing and I already have a full workload, am I supposed to interview for the next 30 roles that we're hiring for and still maintain that workload? Maybe, maybe not, right? And these are all things we need to think about and put thought into. And then last, I guess also we need to go into interview training, right? So that's huge. It's like making people feel comfortable, because our interviewers, our panelists, they're representing the company, right? And if we think our company is better than any other company out there, which is a great sign of what makes us stay at that company, then we need to articulate that to them. And we can't just assess people and then expect them to want to join us. We need to assess them for their skills, but we also need to articulate what makes our company so beautiful. And so the last part is we also need to create a plan, an outbound plan for how we're going to get this hire. Are we going to use agencies? Are we going to use referrals? Are we going to use a recruiter? Do we have our own recruiter? Are we going to do our own outreach? All these things need to be accounted for. And if we do our own outreach, we need to put a plan together to give candidates a decent experience, right? Are we going to get back to them in 48 hours? Are we going to give them SLAs and implement them? Are we going to be able to do that with all of our workload? So these are things that we must think about as we go through the process before we reach out to candidates and before we start presenting our company to a candidate to show them that this is one of the best companies in the world. So, if not the best. So, anyway, that's my 2 cents. I'm Ruben. Again, you guys probably already know that by now. And I'll see you next time.